Recruiting industry predictions for 2024. They're in, hot off the press. Check out this video right now to find out what you need to focus on next year. Hey, welcome to the Millionaire Recruiter. I'm Brianna Rooney, your Millionaire Recruiter. If you have not seen this channel before, it's all about making you the next Millionaire Recruiter. So let's get to it, 2024. All right, so I just did a video on what trends in 2023 did we learn from? Okay, we've learned lots of things, right? But now it's time to say, what are my predictions? Well, let's just see. Have been in the industry for a long time. Sometimes I predict correctly, sometimes I don't. What are you going to do? But here we go. Here's what I think is going to happen. We have learned, hopefully, how to run lean and mean. And I definitely think that's not changing this year or this upcoming year, is that you really need to know how to put your head down and really work on a very small team, or if not just yourself. Okay, super important, which means you have to really focus on what your ROI is. And I know that I have a video for that, so make sure you click on that, on how you really talk through that, how you own your job, okay? Which means, brings me to, data is in every single conversation. So the way that you get to show your ROI is through data, okay? So whenever you're having a conversation with a candidate, with a hiring manager, with your companies, with your clients, okay? You have to always look at the data, but you have to know how to play with the data, okay? That's a whole separate subject, but that's definitely my prediction, is that run strong. Now, remember, that is not an admin job, okay? That is your job. You need to know, how many candidates do I have to reach out to fill this one role? How many do I have to talk to? How many have to go through the interview process? All of those things, okay? And then also think about, hey, especially agency recruiters, I have this one candidate. How many places can I put this one candidate? I mean, that's really powerful, right? Which then brings me to something that I really hope is going to happen, and I feel strongly about it, but I feel strongly about hiring managers and recruiters making more of a connection. So what we saw over the last year and a half or so is tons of layoffs, okay? And no one was immune to it. There was tons of higher ups. So what happened was, I feel there was obviously a lot of recruiting that was let go, but there was a lot of higher ups let go. Remember, they're the bigger salaries, okay? So individual contributors last year, they're the ones that stayed most of the time. So we both felt affected. We both know how strong it is to get our job done really efficiently. And the only way to do that is through our communication. So hiring managers and recruiters, unite, okay? By the way, I have training for that. I have training for hiring managers, and I also have training on how recruiters can talk to hiring managers. I think those are two things that are a science. So hit me up if you need that. Next, speaking of collaboration, I think collaboration next year is going to be super strong, but I mean that with recruiter to recruiter. Okay. So I am thinking that, a lot of freelance happening, a lot of splits. So for example, like I'm always down to do that. If I've got these great clients, I can't fill enough of the roles. Hey, you want to help me out with candidates? Vice versa. I'm here to help out with candidates. So I think that that's really important. We're seeing a lot of agency owners being more open to that. Now, I've always been open to that. I've had a select few people that I've done splits with very successfully throughout the years. And I really, really, really think that's important. I think that before, recruiting companies were like, no, I want the whole fee. But in the grand scheme of things, like, don't you want halves of things instead of nothing at all? So I definitely think collaboration is strong. I think recruiters as a whole is starting to network more. So that's why I think collaboration is gonna really heighten. Now, I also think that recruiting platforms like a Pearform or a Reflix or Recruitify, I think that those are actually gonna have an edge. I think that freelance recruiting is going to get even stronger and stronger and stronger. And let's be honest, the reason why a lot of people don't have their own agency is because it's really hard to get clients, or they don't want all those moving parts. Okay. You have to learn how to do that, which you can learn, through my courses. So definitely check that out. But I think that the recruiting platforms make it really easy to be a freelance recruiter and to do it really well. So I think we're going to see more and more of that next year. Now, of course, I have to talk about AI and the predictions with that. And I really predict that it's going to become even more crowded. I think it's already crowded now, and I think it's only going to continue to do that. I think we're going to see tons of different bugs in AI. And so I think that it's really important to adopt and learn, but also move on if it doesn't work for you. Okay. You definitely need to have AI, as a focus and something to enhance yourself, right? And to make yourself better, but don't get caught up in all of the hype all the time. Okay. I definitely think you need to have trials, but be careful where you spend your money. I think that's really important. That's my prediction. Speaking of be careful where you spend your money, I think, and I don't know what's going to happen here, but something's big is going to happen with LinkedIn. Recruiting is very upset with LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn was really the way that they took off was from recruiters, was from that industry. And I don't think that they've had our backs in the last year and a half. And so, as you have seen, and LinkedIn, you know I love you, but as you've seen, that the recruiting world is not very happy. So they are starting to go over to more solutions. So that's why I feel like it's going to become even more crowded, because I think that other industries that, the ATSs, the CRMs, any other recruiting tools, they see that people want to get off LinkedIn Recruiter. It's very expensive and it's very rigid. You can't just, it's not an on-demand thing, right? There's long contracts. We can't get out of them. You can't downgrade. So I think that we're going to see a lot of companies trying to take advantage of that. We're going to see a lot of ad dollars, marketing dollars spent on recruiting tools. So again, going back to do your trials, do your due diligence, don't just sign long agreements, okay? That's really important. It's important to save where you can. Now, next prediction is I definitely think there's going to be more and more video interviewing, video when you're talking to your clients, your candidates, probably not much on the phone. I think that's already happening, but I think we'll see more and more video on all the platforms, whether it's my favorite LinkedIn, Instagram, and all over the place. You're going to see more recruitment marketing because we saw that it's, it's crucial, right? So we're going to see more and more video because, well, we're goldfish, right? Here I am. And then last but not least, I think that hybrid roles are going to become more and more of a thing. So think back to before COVID, where we were all focused on different locations. And then all of a sudden it was just crazy. You can work anywhere. You can recruit from anywhere. You have this huge candidate pool. It was easier to grab a diverse candidate pool. But now when things are back in office, regardless if they're hybrid or strictly in office, if they're hybrid, you still have to be in office, right? At least a little bit, which means you still have to grab from a certain location. So I think we're going to have to get used to going back to that. Which I will say that when you're recruiting for just a location, it's really, it's not easier, but it's more focused. And so I think that's what we're going to see too, is that we're going to have a focus. We're going to go right back to our niches and really harness that. And so I'm honestly looking forward to that. I will tell you, when I got to go full remote and like grab people from all over the place, I'm like, oh my God, I have a whole talent pool to grab from I've never touched before. It was exciting. I was like a kid in a candy store. But I will tell you, I didn't close any more deals because of it. I had access to other talent, but so did everybody else. And so it became a very, very, very competitive market. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a balance come here for sure. So I'm excited. And one last thing is that I do think whether it's, candidates had the power for a long time, companies started to get their power back. I think it's going to go hand in hand. I don't think there's going to be a giant switch that it has been for a long time, because I've already seen salaries go down. So I don't see them anytime going, skyrocketing again. I think this is just an adjustment. And so 2024, we're going to really put our heads down and get things going. And we're going to start making some more money again. It's going to feel a little more stable, but it's going to take time. It's going to take hard work and collaboration. All right. So I'm excited to see, what happens. Please put your predictions down there. And by all means, if you disagree, let's have a conversation, right? Put it down in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging in with me, listening to the podcast Talent Takeover Unfiltered as well, supporting me on all platforms has felt really great. So I will see you every Thursday at noon. And don't forget that money is just a vessel to do all the amazing things in life. So go do it. Go live it. Talk soon.